Hello, sorry I haven't uploaded in a while, been quite busy and stuff. This video is on a medication review of Zopiclone, which is in the benzodiazepine family of drugs and is used for treatment, usually short-term treatment of insomnia. I have heard in some cases it is used longer than the usual 1 to 4 weeks span, but on the NHS guidelines it says it's not, but I do know of people individually who have been prescribed that, but I suppose that's up to your individual doctor, and I'm not a doctor, so this is just about my experience. So over the past 2-3 years, I have been prescribed Zopiclone, I'd say about 6 or 7 times for between 1 and 2 weeks on each occasion. The whole point for me and for most people with it is with insomnia, it kind of throws your pattern out of whack. Your body gets used to not sleeping, it doesn't want to sleep, your patterns go all over the place, you don't know when's day and when's night. And the point of the drug, especially you being used in the short term, so say you're on it for a week, you have 1 week of, say, taking this medication which helps you go to sleep at 10 PM and wake up at 8. Those are just random times I've come up with. When you stop taking it, hopefully the aim is that your body will get used to going to sleep at those times, because you kickstart it into a pattern, routine and everything. It doesn't work for everyone, but it usually works for me for the few months that I take it. So my experience with Zopiclone is, in the positive side, is that sorry, every time I've taken it, it has it has knocked me out. Like, I've been able to go to sleep really good quite quickly, within, I know it's not always for a lot of people, but in my experience, within 20-30 minutes I have been like needing to go straight to sleep, and I will sleep for about 10 hours on average, give or take a couple, which is a good night's sleep, sometimes more, and maybe not waking up to my alarms, which isn't so good, but that's more my own laziness. So in that stance, really good medication. I can't fault it there. On the other side, the first thing that I noticed about Zopiclone in terms of side effects was when you wake up in the morning, and everyone reports this, your mouth will taste like you've chewed a piece of steel or some sort of metal, because it tastes metallic and it does not go throughout the day. Like, by the time you fall asleep, it's gone. But you brush your teeth, have a cup of tea, but it still lingers. I suppose it's better than having no rest at the end of the day, but it's a really odd thing. It's not like distressing or anything, it's just a bit odd. Not the nicest of things. And again, when you first wake up, you will feel, or I have felt, very, very drowsy the morning after taking Zopiclone. Only lasts for about an hour or 2 at most for me. You just feel a bit groggy. I'm not a morning person anyway, but I do feel quite out of it and headachy in the morning, but just have a cup of tea, settle down for a bit, and you should be absolutely fine. It's always gone by within an hour or 2 when you wake up. So I'd say if, say, you're the sort of person who usually wakes up and gives himself half an hour to get ready for work, for example, wake up half an hour earlier than that, just to give yourself a little bit more time to wake up so that you're fully there, and hopefully just take the pills so that you can sleep however much you want to sleep. Another thing that I would say is make sure to go to sleep when you start feeling the effects, because if you don't, staying awake on it is a very, very surreal experience. You'll feel very, very out of it, very like headachy and strange. I tend to walk into things. This has only happened on 2 occasions. Like, just last week, I have a mild heart condition, so about 2 minutes after I'd taken my Zopiclone, it started flaring up, so I needed to call 111, and they sent me out an ambulance as per usual just to check me over. Fine and everything, by the way, but because it took like because it wasn't like an emergency, it's quite a routine thing with me for this to happen. It took over an hour for the ambulance to get here, which is fine, but by that point, Zopiclone had kicked in more than I'd ever felt would kick in before, because I hadn't stayed awake that long, and everything was blurry. I was walking into things, like the paramedic probably just thought I was a drug addict calling 111 because I'd taken too much ketamine or something, I don't know, but yeah, so just be sure to go to bed, because it's not fun high, it's not like it's distressing, but I can imagine it can be if you're not if you're not used to it. But it's not like, you know, when you choose to, not that I'm advocating that, that's terrible. Anyway, so yeah, there are some potential downsides, but the biggest one which I've noticed is, and I think this is why it's not prescribed usually long term, is because the addictive quality. And I haven't personally become addicted to it, but I see how it can be addictive because your body acclimatizes it so quickly. So say the first time I get prescribed when I get it the 7.5 milligrams. You can either get that or 3.75, which is half the dose. And usually on the first night I break the pill in half and I take a 3.75 milligram, because every single time on the first night of taking it, that will still knock me out, because I think once you've had a few months with that out of your system, it's like you've never taken it before, and that's fine. But then by 1 or 2 nights later, I will need to take the full 7.5 milligrams, otherwise it will not really affect me at all. And within 3 or 4 nights of that, even the 7.5 milligrams isn't really doing enough. So you think in your head, oh, it'd be handy if I'd like to take 2 of these, but obviously, you know, you've only been given 7 pills and you've already taken them all over the course of the week, so there's not really much you can do. So it's really careful to grow not dependent on them. My doctor recommended spacing them out on days where I need to sleep, and if I can, try and get to sleep naturally on some nights to really, really attempt it. And, you know, don't force the pill on nights where you don't need it, and try your best every night to get to sleep on your own. Don't develop that dependency, but I can see why it is prescribed in the way it is. So overall, my views on Zopiclone, that it is a great short-term sleep aid. If you want an aid for short-term sleep, it really will. It will knock you out and you'll get a night's sleep and you end up waking up refreshed once you get over your grogginess. So in terms of actually dealing with the insomnia in the moment, great. But as a long-term cure, which it's not, because insomnia doesn't really have a long-term medication cure as much as it does like working, find the right thing for your body, which is an individual journey you'll go on with your own personal team of doctors or whatever. It's not the side effects, I wouldn't say were unbearable. I'd say they're a bit uncomfortable, but to be honest, I've had worse side effects of most SSRIs and antipsychotics and anti-everything, and yeah, even antihistamines gave me side effects. So, you know, I'd say if you need something to get you to sleep for a week and your doctor prescribes them to you, don't be afraid of them. Just try them, see how they go. Obviously, that is completely up to you and your doctor what you want to do. This is not medical advice, this is my personal experience, and yeah, I wouldn't say it was too bad. So yeah, hope they work for you if you've been prescribed them. You haven't, also cool. Yeah, bye.